Trade! The act of buying something at one place and selling it elsewhere. This video will cover the beginner basics on how to trade in Star Citizen. The first step in taking advantage of the trade economy is understanding the nature of cargo itself. There are two units of measurement you will come across: the unit and the standard cargo unit, or SCU from here on out. The difference between the two is that the unit is the smallest standardized representation of any cargo you can purchase or sell, and is the unit of measurement used when buying and selling at trade kiosks, while the SCU is the physicalized container in which the unit is stored while inside your ship. Each standard cargo unit, or SCU, can hold 100 units of the same commodity, and only that commodity. That means if you buy 37 units of iodine and 28 units of fluorine, they will occupy 2 SCU of cargo on your ship. However, purchasing more of the same cargo will add to the partially full SCU until it hits 100 units. To find how many units of cargo a ship can carry, look for the description that shows how much SCU it can hold. For example, the standard Freelancer holds 66 SCU. Take each SCU and multiply it by 100 units. So at 66 SCU times 100, the Freelancer holds a total of 6,600 units. Now that you understand the concept of cargo, it's time to learn about buying and selling it. The second step is learning where to buy cargo and where to sell. Each place will only buy certain types of commodities. What's more, many locations will only buy so much of a particular product at a time. For example, let's look at ArcCorp 157 on Yela and the Crusader system. At the time of this recording, ArcCorp 157 sells the commodity known as iodine. Now, iodine is purchased primarily by places that sell medical supplies, but other locations demand the commodity as well. Some of these places are Deacon's Research on Yela, Hicks Research on Cellin, Port Olisar, Grim Hex, and Area 18 on ArcCorp. While all of these locations purchase iodine, it's safe to say that it's not worth going to every location to sell our cargo. Some places will pay more or less than others, and some are so far away that the trip just isn't worth it. For example, back in 3.5.1, Deacon's Research bought iodine at 0.44 UEC per unit, giving us a profit of 0.09 UEC. Not a lot of cash, but it's a low-risk route and you're only going to the other side of the planet. A trip that you can repeat about every 6 minutes with minimum use of fuel. On the other hand, Area 18 on ArcCorp buys iodine at 0.47 UEC per unit, making our profit 0.12. However, ArcCorp is 42 million kilometers away. Depending on the ship you're flying, it can take anywhere from 5 to 12 minutes just to jump to ArcCorp. Combined with flying to Area 18, getting the train, selling your cargo, commuting back and flying back to Crusader, it can take you up to an hour to return from this run. While a single run to Area 18 may be more profitable, in the time it takes to do that run, you could have made multiple trips to Deacon's and made a lot more profit. So when planning a run, consider the time it would take versus less profitable but much more quicker routes. Try to calculate how much of each run you could do in an hour, and what the profit would be instead of looking at single run returns. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I find out who buys what and what's actually worth trading? You could buy some of each cargo and go from place to place recording prices. Fortunately, there's quite a few people who have already done that for you. There are powerful trade calculators out there that can help you decide the best cargo run for you. Now, the two big ones that I've used are Galog and Versemate. You can explore these two to figure out routes and find commodity pricing tables. What's more is that you can use the route calculator and type in your ship, your cargo you would or would not like to carry, and see the best results for you. Now, each website has pros and cons. However, I'll cover these two in depth in a separate video. For now, I'll leave their links below in the description. The third thing to understand is supply and demand, as well as what's known as the tick system. While some types of cargo have a virtually infinite supply and demand, some are limited in how much they produce and how much locations demand of it. This system is still in its early stages, so things will fluctuate as time goes by. The way supply and demand is updated operates on what is known as a tick system. A tick is the amount of time it takes for a particular system to update. For now, the tick rate is about 2 minutes. For example, Tram & Myers on Cellin produces laranite. The amount of laranite they produce caps at around 140 SCU. If any amount of laranite is purchased, it refills at about 2 SCU per tick, up to its max value. The same goes for demand. If an outpost buys 25 SCU of medical supplies and you sell them 23, they will only buy 2 SCU of medical, while increasing their demand by 1 or 2 every tick. While limited demand commodities can be highly profitable, sometimes finding a buyer for all of your cargo can be rough and may require multiple trips to unload. Generally, large ports such as Port Al-Assar, Lorville, and Area 18 will buy things in bulk, where outposts may only buy a few SCU or even just a few units at a time. The fourth and final step is having a ship that makes trading cargo worthwhile. Just because a ship has cargo capacity does not make it a worthwhile vessel for dedicated hauling. An Aurora can make far more doing delivery missions than it ever could buying and selling cargo. More cargo capacity means more profits, as well as more versatility in what commodities would be profitable. For example, a Cutlass carrying 46 SCU of iodine is only going to make about 500 UEC. A Caterpillar hauling 566 SCU of the same cargo would make a little over 5,000. Now, this step is more subjective, as each cargo-capable ship has pros and cons, and many ships are either more difficult to utilize for some, or are simply inaccessible or tough to acquire. In the end, though, all ships will be for purchase in-game. Now, if trade is something you want to try, I would recommend starting with the Drake Cutlass Black. The Cutlass carries 46 SCU and is a very forgiving ship to fly. If you want to dip in a little larger, the base model Freelancer carries 66 SCU and is a bit more durable when it comes to taking punches. If you want to go all in, the currently largest cargo-capable ship on the RSI website is the Freelancer Max, coming in at an astounding 120 SCU. Other larger ships, including the Starfarer and Caterpillar, are made available on occasion throughout the year. Once again, as time goes by, every ship will be available for purchase in-game with earned UEC. With that in mind, how you progress through trade ships is up to you. That's it for the basics of trade. I hope you've enjoyed this video and have learned something helpful. Stay tuned for future videos that will feature tips and tricks for trade and how to keep you and your cargo safe. Until then, keep on trucking.